Well, we're back on OneNote Online and Rail Installations South, and we're looking at creating pages. We've had a look at what is legacy. So if you click on creating pages, you'll have information there. OneNote Online is like a filing cabinet. Your workbook or your notebook is like the drawer. And the sections are like folders inside the drawers, and pages are your documents. So if you think of it in that way, that we're locking things away nice and tidy inside a filing cabinet. And so you don't need to do anything in sections. The sections are set up for you. You have your own section. But we do want you to work in pages. So you create pages. I've created these pages. In a moment I'll show you how to create your pages. And if I click on this section, what I'll do is we'll add a new chaplain here. We'll call our new chaplain Fred Blogs. Okay. And here's Fred Blogs, and you can see we've got no information on title page here. So we're going to add a name for the untitled page in here on the page itself. So we'll call it Network Rail. And so now you can see that Network Rail has a page heading, and then underneath we'll be able to put information. So I'm going to add another page. We'll call it BTP, British Transport Police, and one more page for this exercise, and we'll call it Train Company. So we want you to put a different title, a different page for each train operating company that you represent. So here's our train company. So now we're going to create a spreadsheet. So I've clicked on the page. You can click anywhere on the page and it will start a passage of information. So I'm clicking on the top left hand corner here, which is the logical place to be, especially if you want to be able to see this on your mobile phone. And so I'm going to add now a spreadsheet. So I'm just going to write in station, and that's going to be the name of the station that belongs to the train company, train operating company. And then I'm going to tap on tab. Tab is on the left hand side of your keyboard. It's usually got an arrow with a line, and that represents tab. So if you touch on tab, bingo, here we have the beginning of a spreadsheet. So I'm going to type in their link. So I'm going to put a link there eventually for each station, an online link, so that when people are looking on their mobile phones, they'll be able to see the link come up on their Google Maps or whatever map device they use, map up software they're using. And then I'm going to press tab again, and I'm going to type in info. So there we're going to have information about that particular station. And I'm going to press tab again. That gives me another cell. And in there I'll add access. So how to access different places within the station. Then I'm going to put code. Maybe there's a code that people have to use to get into MES or something, somewhere like that. And then I'm going to put other installations. Oops. So say at Willesden Junction, there's a depot there. There's Bombardier. There's other installations that are nearby. I don't want to give a lot of information, but just to indicate that there are other installations close to that particular station. And then I'm going to press tab again, and I'll put staff. So I can put numbers of staff. So now you can see I have a row of cells, and now I'm going to press return on the right hand side of my keyboard, and that's going to bring up columns. And so now I have my heading, station, link, info, access, code, other installation, staff, and underneath I'm going to start to put information. So I'm just going to make things up a little bit. We'll put Willesden Junction, and I'll add a link. I'll show you how to do that later. Maybe some information. It's a main junction for ARL, which is Arriva Rail London, London Overground. And I can put lots of other information in there. Access, well, access to the mess. I would knock on door to access driver's mess. Other information I might add here is that there are revenue inspectors have an office there. Okay, so there's lots of information I can put in. If I want to widen this, I can just stretch it out a little bit. Code, there are access codes, but I don't have them at the moment off the top of my head. Other installations nearby. Well, there's ARL depot. There's also Bombardier. So you get the idea. How many staff? Well, there's about 150 staff there. Don't have to have a totally accurate idea. Then once I've got to the end column here, I can press return again, and that will bring up another column. So I can have as many columns as I want and many rows as I want. I can add rows and I can take rows away. In this next column or next row, I can add the name of another station. Say we have a small station like Acton or South Acton, which is a small, it's a small station. Info would be man or staffed mornings only. That's information, that's important. Usually agency staff. Access, well, I don't need any information on access there because it's a very small station. Don't need anything on code. Other installations, there are none. Staff, so there's morning staff only, usually a maximum, maybe one staff person per day. Let's put 2 because there might be shift workers at times. Okay, so that gives me an idea of how many staff might be there. Don't forget there's cleaners as well that go to these places. So now, if I wanted to color this to make it a little bit different, I just have to select the row like this, and up comes a box, and I can shade the cell. So let's make, because ARL is orange, I can do that, and I can change the text color. I can make it bold and italics, and there you go. Just made it a little bit more interesting. I can also change each cell as I go along. Now, to add a link, well, we'll look at adding a link in the next video.